Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to review Heart and Hustle. We are in season 1, episode 7, y'all, and we are here for a Sweet 16 party. It's a celebration, y'all. We are celebrating Latoria having her business open for 16 years. And I think it's a good move. She had a big announcement on this party. And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you later on in this video why I like it, because it speaks to what I said last week about where I think Latoria's dating life went wrong. And it had to do with her extreme closeness to her father. And I think that the silver lining, if there ever could be a silver lining in the death of a parent, which it really isn't one. I mean, I lost my dad. I was very close. There's one part of it where I believe Latoria is going to grow, and that is in the area of relationships. I spoke about it last week with Latoria and her father being a surrogate boyfriend, surrogate husband. And without him, she's lost. She's lonely. But you know what happens when you're hungry? You go find you some food to eat, and you do what you need to do to eat, and you focus on it. You see, and Latoria is going to announce later on that she is quitting the entertainment industry in her PR business. She's going to strictly focus on her restaurant, and that she's going to focus on her personal life and going after the dream of getting married and having children. There it is. There it is. It came 1 week after. 1 week after I said it in my video. How about that, people? How about that? So anyway, but you know, you got to give Latoria her kudos. She's built a brand. She's built a business. She has 9 employees. She's paying the bills of 9 people's households. Quite an accomplishment. Most business owners are business owners of one. They don't even themselves. Sole proprietorship. Most Black businesses are sole proprietorship. So when you see a Black business where they actually have employees and they have 9, that's an accomplishment. And along the way, when she's getting ready for this party, she tells Chloe, I want you to help me up. I want you to put your juju, or not juju, that's bad, right? I want to put your whatever you call it, zhush on this party and make it fabulous. In the end, did she really need Chloe's help? Probably not, because the venue she chose was really, really nice. But it looks like she recognized Chloe as having a little bit of a flair to her. And she likes that touch that Chloe can give. And like I said before in my another video, when she gets back out there in the dating world, and she's going to need to add some flair to her dating life, she needs to let Chloe help her, because Latoria is going to need a do-over in the world. She kind of dresses old. She kind of comes off as old. If she's going to compete out here for men of her age. Now, if she wants to go older like the Blake fella, she's fine. But she just says she don't want no old man. So she wants to go down there and get a young guy like herself in his mid-30s. She's going to need to appeal like a 30-something-year-old. Okay, because otherwise, like she's calling Blake the old man in the relationship, the men are going to be calling her the old woman in the relationship. So she's going to need a Chloe in her life to help her get there. We got to see a little bit of Labrina with her son, Pop, handsome young man. And we find out that he's splitting his time between her house and her dad's house. Sad, not episode, what do you call it? Scene. I was just sad to see Labrina's son say that the reason he really wanted to go live with his dad is not so he could go over there and F off, right, and get bad grades. It was because he felt that he was a burden to Labrina and her husband in the house, and that all he was doing was causing them pain. So what he said was, I'll just get out of your hair and go to my father's house. Sure, you know, and are his grades slipping more? They may be, but maybe his grades are slipping more not because he's shiftless and lazy, but maybe he's depressed. Maybe he's depressed where he is, but he looks at that as the only way out of how he felt, which was, I feel like I'm a burden to you. So imagine you feel like a burden. You know, luckily he had a place to go. Some people, they want to run away from their home and they have nowhere to go. Girls run into the arms of older men. They run away from home. Luckily, her son Pop had a dad to go to. But does it mean he necessarily wants to be there? No. kids run away for reasons. They run away because wherever they are, they're missing something that they feel that they need. And sometimes where they run to isn't what they need. I mean, we're following this story in the news with this young lady, Celeste, and this David guy. What a horrible story. So, hey, we got to listen to our kids, and we got to figure out, are we trying to parent our kids the way what we hope for them, or are we trying to parent them in the way in which what does that child need? And every child isn't meant to go to college. Every child isn't meant to get straight A's. I did a whole video on this maybe a couple of episodes back. Go listen to it. Labrina and her husband might need to think about that. They might need to think about that just a little bit. If she want her son back home, which I think she does, she might have to tend to some of his emotional needs. And that may not be always in alignment with this big idea to go to an Ivy League school and get grade A's and a 4.0 and get a high SAT score. It don't have to be that way. It really doesn't have to be that way. But what I love to see Labrina's husband really embrace the son as his own and say, I never really consider you a stepson. I consider you my own child. And, I would do anything for you. And even when Pop was sitting up there crying, it was actually the son, the husband, Will, who got up first and embraced the son. Labrina was sitting in the chair. Labrina told us she had to be tough. She was raised tough by her mama. And she often talked about she didn't think she got the nurturing and the support from her mama. And she said, you know what? I'm sitting here listening to my son, and he's starting to sound just like I felt, And that's what I talk about, generational upbringing. We pass stuff down. And I think Labrina needs to take a look and say, in that moment when her child was crying, it was the stepfather, Will, who had to get up first and embrace him. She sat there in the chair. And she's also got to ask herself, is she depriving her own son of those hugs and kisses and emotional support that maybe her mother deprived her of? She might need to sharpen her skills in that area. She might really need to sharpen her skills. But I hope they work it out. Something tells me they can work it out. They really can work it out. Then we got to see a little bit more with Latoria. She had to update the ladies on the date with Banks. Remember the old man? She said that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. But she said she wants. Ro also chimed in. Ro let us know she quit her job. She quit her job. And she says, I'm working too many hours. She's ready to start a new chapter in her life, do some things over and over. And one of the things that Ro mentioned was that being in this girl group that she's in, she started to realize she can make different decisions for her life. That's what I was saying last week. I was saying, Ro, when Ro was talking about where she is with this man who almost possibly got her pregnant and working all these hours, I kept thinking, I don't know where Ro thinks she can't make these decisions and do this. Why does Ro believe she's beholden to these situations? And, she was putting all the blame on the victory guy. She's putting the blame on the basketball player and all these other kind of people who are not, showing up in her life the way she wanted to. But in the end, she was in control all along. And I kept saying, that's what I'm saying. We got to take ownership of what we do, because we really have the power in our own lives. And finally, Ro is saying, you know what? Why am I waiting around for these people to do something for me to make me happy when I can make those decisions for myself and do it? So there you go. Another person this episode deciding to step out there and take control of their life and make the moves they need to make, as opposed to staying where they are and being unhappy. So now we got Latoria making a move. We got Ro making a move. Good for them. I love it. So for the party, Elena did Latoria's makeup, made her look real great, real pretty. I loved it. Latoria came in wearing her bling bling dresses with her fabulous throwback cars. She said, we're going to do a Houston style. What do they do? Is it what they do? They make an H or something? Is that what they do out there in Houston? It was a nice party. It was a casino party along with a party. Latoria gave another speech. Latoria loved giving speeches. She loved reading from an iPhone, and she gave a speech about her father. And that's when she dropped the bomb on everybody that she is going to start pursuing more community initiatives, passion projects, because she wants to inspire and help the next generation. And she says all this entertainment stuff, although it brings in money, it's not fulfilling me. And in addition to, it doesn't leave her enough room to work on her personal goals, which are marriage and children. There you go. Latoria is ready to build her family. She doesn't mention her mother a lot. We don't know where Latoria's mother is. Is she gone? Is she passed away? Does she not have a relationship? But now that the dad is gone, Latoria's feeling all alone out here. So that's what she's got to do. She's got to build her own family. A lot of people got to do that. Sometimes you got to build your own family. Sometimes the family you were born into, you got to go outside that family and build you a new family with a husband and some children and friends and other things like that. And now that Latoria's father has passed away, she's got to focus more on building a family that's not her biological family at first. She's got to build, so that's just not friends. It's a husband, it's children, it's all those types of things. Latoria, I'm proud of you, girl. I'm really proud of you. Then we had to look at a scene with Manera. Manera not really bringing much of a storyline this season. She's not really bringing much. You know, Manera's an engineer. I'm an engineer. I know an engineer when I see one. She's very calculated. She's very thinking. And I don't know if reality TV is going to be for Manera because, you know, as engineers, we think things out. We calculate them. We know causes and effects. And the thing about reality TV is you got to be willing to not think things out so much. You got to be able to bring some of your raw emotions, experiences to the table because that's what we want to see as viewers. And Manera, I think she's very calculating in what she's presenting to us because all of a sudden now, think about it. Her and her husband and her mama been beefing all these years. How long Manera been married? 15 years? They've been beefing all this time, never really liked each other. Then miraculously, that drama surrounding their relationship or tension, let's say it's not drama, miraculously for this show, this reality show, all of a sudden it's the best place it's ever been. Or are we just not seeing it? Or is everyone just going to fake it till we make it? I don't know, Manera. Manera, if you want to be renewed for a second season, girl, you're going to have to open up because we don't know much about you. We don't see much. We don't understand much. And if they're going to replace somebody next year, based on everyone who's been showing us stuff, it's going to be Manera because we don't know much about her. Another person making moves, deciding I'm not staying stuck where I am. I'm doing something different. It's going to be Elena. But before I get to Elena, I want to mention the fact that Chloe brought her son, Nico, to the party of Latoria so that Nico could meet other music industry people. And I'm going to tell you this. Nico's so quiet. He's so reserved. He's so shy. You see, when you want to be an entrepreneur, which a music person is, they're an entrepreneur. You got to have a go-getter personality. You have to have a personality where you're going to be the one to really take charge and be out there and be assertive, be aggressive in the business world. And what you saw at the party was you saw Nico running behind his mama. We talked about this last time, how Chloe somewhat influenced the raising of Nico, where he was there to sort of be a helper for her, right? A helper for her, as opposed to him charting his own life. And now she's actually trying to teach him how to hunt for himself. You see, she's tired of having to feed Nico, you see, but she never taught him how to hunt. He never learned how to hunt. And as a result, she's tired of now having to be the mama lion still feeding the cub. And she brings him to this place where there's industry people. And does Nico know how to work a room? No. You know, even when they bring over a gentleman, both Latoria and Chloe got to do all the work. You know, this is this guy. Shake his hand. Get the number. Do this. Nico was just silent. Chloe and Latoria did all the talking for Nico. Nico gonna have to learn. If Nico does not want to do the things he's gonna need to do to be an entrepreneur or leader, then he needs to just go get a regular job where he has a manager, a supervisor that gives him tasks and duties, and then he can accomplish those. Like I tell you, professions have to match personalities. You see what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that when you're choosing what you want to do, that you also have the personality for it. Not only the talent, the personality. So Nico's gonna have to develop a few more skills, and Chloe's got a lot more work to do. She thinks that she's gonna be able to just throw her pup back out into the wild and he's gonna learn how to hunt and eat for himself. No, girl, you got 20 something years. You behind 20 something years. He just now learning to go out and hunt for food. But let me get back on Elena. Elena decided once again she too is not going to stay stuck where she is with her husband, Josh. And I tell you, we're already on episode 7 and we still don't know what Josh did. This is ridiculous, Elena. Can't nobody help you, Elena, if you don't tell the truth. Elena over here is suffering in silence, but part of her problem is she ain't told nobody the truth. And I'm not even talking about telling us, the audience, that she don't want her business out there. She ain't even told a therapist, no one. They just now getting the therapy. And she says, well, if this doesn't work, I'm going to be done. You should have tried this long time ago. Long time ago. What was y'all doing over there? Sitting in a corner, sitting in the house, not having anyone to be able to help you work through your problems because you're too embarrassed to talk about them. And now we're on episode 7 and we still don't know what Josh did. Talking about he messed up. Messed up how, Josh? One affair, one night stand with a girl. What did she do? Go down on you? I don't know. We need to know the details because we got to know how bad it is. If you want people to help you, your therapist or anyone, you got to tell them how bad it is. But they too busy over here covering it up. And now all of a sudden, Elena says, well, if this don't work, I'm going to be out. Girl, just like I told Chloe, this has been going on so many years. You're going to have years of uncovering this. And Elena, you might need a couple of years of therapy. You think you're just going to go into a therapist and she going to wave a magic wand and after 2 sessions, Josh is going to be back to the man you want to be? Nah, he stayed stuck here for years, this man. How you think you going to undo that in 1 session, 2 sessions? Elena is not being realistic about the amount of work it's going to take to rebuild her marriage. Can she rebuild her marriage? Yes, she can. She can rebuild it. But she believes that it took her 4 years to get here, but now all of a sudden she want to get out the trouble in 2 sessions. That's like when you gain weight. You've been gaining weight for 3 years and all of a sudden you decide you're going to start exercising. You mad because you ain't seen the results you want in 1 month. Girl, you better bear down. You better bear down, Elena. Because let me tell you, it's going to be a long road. Based on what y'all talking about, it's going to be a long, long road. But I really hope that we can get to the real problem because Elaine is still talking about she's hurt over the fact that this man cheated on her 3 years ago. Oh, no, not 3 years ago, when they first got married. And it looks like there was more dirty work done by him after that. Well, you probably never healed from the first one. Like she said, not only did you not heal, you did not solve the problem. You did not uproot the issue of what's behind his cheating in the first place. Why does he cheat? What's going on with him internally, right? It may not even be all about Elena, but there could be parts about Elena that exasperates it, that pokes at it. But in the end, it's definitely something that deep down in Josh that needs to be discovered, figured out, because if you don't figure out the root cause of it, then guess what? You're not going to get rid of it. You're going to be sitting there in that marriage, dealing with it over and over and over again. But Elena's lost a lot of trust. And Josh says that's not what he wants. He wants to be the husband where Elena feels comfortable with him. She feels safe and she feels trusted and she feels cared for. Well, let me tell you, Josh, you're going to need to open up your mouth and you're going to need to tell people, what did you do? What did you do? We can't help you. Can't no therapist save you. Can't no therapist help you until you are honest and truthful about what really is going on. So all this cover up they're doing in their marriage is not helping them. It's hurting them. But anyway, that's all I got, y'all. I will talk to you later. Bye.